Carcia.
And I'm Telly.
And we are the HercastleGirls, your mindful mavens, your soulful sisters. And if you like videos on mindset, if you like videos on motivation, self-development, mindset, spiritual well-being, and how you can attach those to your life, to your business, to your relationships,
all of that,
then this channel is for you.
You know what to do. You're gonna subscribe to our channel, follow us right here on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, and turn on that notification bell so every time we put out a video, you'll be the first one to know. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, girl. And with your help and your love, we can do it.
This week, we are chatting with one of our most inspiring friends.
Oh my gosh,
We are talking to Yvette. She owns Your Glow.
Oh, Your Glow.
She is a lifestyle and beauty skincare influencer. And she is also a maverick 9-to-5er. And her story of survival is so inspiring. We are going to be talking about her survival of cancer, her journey going through her diagnosis, her healing, not only physically, but spiritually and mindfully. This is going to be a conversation that will really, I think, kind of rock you, move you, but also inspire you to push forward.
It will definitely shake people to the core, but it's a good shake. She is just a gem. Not only is she a survivor, but she's just an incredible human being. And you guys are gonna love her as much as we do. So with no further ado, the owner of Own Your Glow, here is Yvette.
That is a dear friend from, I would say, I call it our past lives as hardcore fashion content creators.
Chasers.
Yes, it did sound like it did feel like chasing.
Everyone was always running. Running to a show, running to a preview, running to...
Yes.
Girl. It was chapter 1 of our lives, let's put it that way.
I love that.
Yvette is a lifestyle content creator. Yes. You can check out Own Your Glow on Instagram.
Slang though. Own Your Glow.
Own Your Glow.
Own Your Glow.
On Instagram.
That's it, girl.
And she really is. What I like about the chats that we're having with people is that, you know them in one way, but we really get deeper and really get to understand the person where they're coming from.
Absolutely. Their mindset, what makes them tick. And, you see more than just the outside.
We are so ready just to chat with our friend Yvette. A lot has gone on in her life from the time that we met her to now. So Yvette, the first question for you is, how did you get here to where you are right now? Like, I know that's a question. I know.
That's a very ambiguous, but that's a very long. You have an hour for me? No. I'd say I'm pretty just a normal everyday girl. So I was a 9-to-5 corporate maverick is what I like to call it. Trailblazer, but I always felt like that one side was lacking, which is the creative outlet. And so that's kind of what started as a blogging. God, I feel like I think we're aging ourselves by calling it blogging, but that's the truth, right?
Yes,
that's the truth.
One phase, that was what it was. It was blogging, be it WordPress or whatever, other form. And it was really about, and so for me, it was really about style evolution and documenting and archiving the way my style evolved, because I just had this really passion for the arts and fashion and music and stuff. And so, but particularly in fashion, right? And I just love every aspect of it, right? And my whole dream was to become a fashion designer, but my parents, I don't know if it's an Asian thing. I don't want to be the stereotypical Asian, but, truth be it, my parents, did have different, expectations. So they made a deal. They were like, you know what, you can study fashion after you get your university degree, because basically they thought, artists are the starving artists back then, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, fair. So I did that. So I graduated, and then, I was like, okay, I'm still not giving up on that dream of being a fashion designer.
Good.
I started working on my portfolios, and then I wanted to, submit to Central St. Martin's, which is a art school in London.
Yes.
And then I met my husband, and I was like, oh man, I fell in love.
Love bug bit you.
It gets ya.
I feel like every aspect of your life, there's always some sort of life event, but like timing wise, like I felt like this was it, like when I met him, I was like, I can really see a future with him. And like, so I kind of like put that dream to the side burn, and I, went about like doing my 9 to 5. I got into, I don't want to say fashion, because I feel like in Canada, it was like more like retail, right? So like I got into the retail industry. So, like I worked at like Harry Rosen, I worked at HBC and Club Monaco and things like that. And, in the office, but it just didn't feel the same, like I never got that fulfillment, like, oh wow, like like what I saw or what I thought in my head of like what Anna Wintour does, that like not translate to Canadian industry whatsoever. So
that's true.
So I had like a little burst of like bubble moment, and then I shifted my career into talent management, and that's kind of taken me traveling to different parts of the world because of my job, because I was working for a mining company. That really made me find and like embrace the job that I do. And I really have a passion for working with people. I don't know, like I just love working with people. And I think, I hope that like the feeling's mutual. I think I've been doing good at it so far. So what I did is like, in between that, I started a blog, right? And then I met you wonderful ladies. This opened up a whole new Pandora of like a world, and opportunities, of course. So I started in blogging, and then in parallel, I was doing like 9 to 5. And then I was like, okay, like where do I go from here? And funny enough, like even Instagram, it was like a filter photo app. Do you remember that? Like when we were first.
That's what it was. Yep. It was just filter photos. That's it.
Now that I look back at all the pictures, I'm like, this looks so old. It looks like I shot it in the 1970s. I'm like, right?
You're speaking so much truth right now. Sorry, Instagram, but it's the truth.
Well, no, I mean,
it's true.
It's mind-blowing to see what it was not too long ago, right? Like we're
crazy.
Talking about,
2012.
Yeah, we're talking about, maybe like 8 years ago.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a totally different app.
Did I think that, I don't know, sepia was a cool filter? I don't know.
It was though. It was the best one out of all.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it all started, right?
Yeah.
It was honestly though, it was such an experience. Like who, would have had that opportunity, had you not gone into it, right? So my husband then got an opportunity to work in Singapore. So we took our journey there. And then, I just kind of continued what I was doing on the side. And I was like, okay, like I think I can, continue this. It was a little bit of a harder sell because obviously I'm sort of like a foreigner or considered to be a foreigner. Even though I'm Asian, I'm considered a foreigner because I'm not from there.
Right.
But it was interesting. Like they were very open to it. But I think even for that country, like they were slowly getting into it. So it was still a foreign, type of industry for them too, to really like understand what the concept of what and now, like it's no longer blogging, it was influencing. And, so like the concept was still foreign to a lot of industries too, right? And so,
yes.
Yeah, so it was interesting because like I got to attend like Singapore Fashion Week and like, just collaborate with like local brands there, which was really cool. So then my husband's company again had to relocate him to New York City. And so we moved there. And there I shifted, like I also worked 9 to 5 again, but I was working in the beauty industry. And then I still continued what I did on the side. But what was so interesting about just living in the US is that they're so innovative. Like as much as there's so much like, like of all these other negative things, like the systematic racism and just like, like all these obvious like red flag signals.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The other flip side, what's so interesting is like, how sharp people's minds are, like how innovative, like how progressive their thoughts are.
Right.
So,
Yes.
they're not afraid to push the boundaries, right? Even like in a company. So, they're willing to take the risk. They're willing to, work with like all these different concepts and stuff, right? And so that's kind of where I was able to get my big opportunities. So, I was collaborating with Puma, and then, like they reposted my picture, and, I like it went viral almost, and, it had like that effect. And then I was assigned to like a boutique marketing agency, and then they started helping me collaborate with bigger brands, so like I don't know, I started like collaborating with Unilever and like Coca-Cola. I don't know, like just it kept coming, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing opportunities, right? And COVID happened.
Girl. Yeah.
So it's the year, what is it, 2020?
Yes. That's when the world shifted.
Yes.
Yeah. And, so we started working from home, and my husband was like, I sat down with my husband. I said, does it make sense to even like be paying the high rent that we do? Because we lived in the city when we lived in the and and we're working from home, right? So we, made do, like we were trying to find out like, how the relocation worked, and we said, it's time to go back home. So we came back home, and then, I in between, so I also decided to make a shift. So I'm still lifestyle, but I really want to focus on skincare. With all this going on, I changed. So I decided, okay, like I'm going to shift it to like skincare, because that's something that I was personally kind of going through, right? Because I was stuck at home. I was like, okay, how do I take care of my skin? Because my skin is not getting enough vitamin D, because I'm not going as often.
That's it.
Yeah, so it was just something that I was experimenting with just on my own. And then I thought, okay, like since I'm doing it anyways, maybe I'll just, document it. So I started making videos. I hate videos, by the way. I was avoiding it as much as I can, I swear.
You're hilarious.
Well,
oh my goodness.
you're being video recorded.
I know. And then, so we moved back to Toronto, and I started continuing it. And then, oh my God, I kid you not, it's like just timing, right? Like, all of a sudden, so we're in year 2021, which is just last year, and it's January, and it's like, I don't know, like first week or second week into it, and I just felt so sick, but it was like indigestion sick,
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously I didn't think much of it, because I was like, yeah, whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah. Natural, right? Like you get food poisoning and you feel sick, you go to walk, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like I didn't think nothing of it for the first day. And then the second day rolls around, and I'm like, okay, like something's not right. Cause like I started vomiting, but it's not like normal vomit. And it wasn't, I don't know, like it wasn't food that I ate. It was like I don't know, like it was very like acidic and TMI. Tell me if it's TMI, okay? But
oh, girl, go ahead. It's all good.
Go ahead.
So like I'm like vomiting, and I couldn't stop. And then I thought, okay, maybe like it's just like the second day, right? And in Ontario, starting, I think it was the December of like the previous year, like they full lockdown, right? And so I obviously, to be honest, I was trying to avoid going to the hospital if I didn't need to, right? And then day 3 happens, and I'm still like vomiting, and I'm like, okay. So my husband's like, I think you need to go to the ER. And I'm like, I really did not want to, but something in my gut, and my husband is not the type to like overreact either, but he just felt like something was wrong, right? And so, when like they tell you like listen to your gut, that was what it was. Like I had that moment where I was like, okay, something's wrong, right? And so I went to the local hospital, and luckily I don't know if it was the time, because like I went at like 3 a.m, because like I couldn't even sleep after this. Went in, and I didn't have to wait, thank God, and they saw me right away. I went through like a series of tests, and then it was like 6 a.m, like the same day. And the doctor, so I'm waiting in the patient waiting area.
Right.
And one of the doctors on call, they come to me and they're like, oh, like, do you want to go into that room with me? And I'm like, wait a minute, like, she didn't take anyone else when she was giving them the results.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But honestly, even then, like, I didn't think anything of it, right? But I was just like, and so I went in and she was like, oh, like, you know, do you want, and at the time, like, because of the lockdown, they couldn't have anyone come with me as well. So the doctor was like, oh, you know, like, do you want your husband like on the phone? And I was like, no, like, I don't know why, but it was just like it wasn't clicking, you know?
Right, exactly.
I had nothing, like, I did not suspect anything. So when she said that, I thought maybe it was just like a normal process, because like you don't have to come with you. So I was like, oh no, it's fine. So then she was like, oh, you know, so the result was she found tumor in my intestine. And so it was diagnosed as a colon cancer, right? And it's funny because like at the time when she told me, like I don't even think I had time to register it. So like I was very like, so the words that she used to describe me to my husband, like later my husband told me, was, you know, she was very calm, she was very stoic, she was very focused, and that's the words that she used to describe me, right? And now that I'm thinking back at it, I kind of understand why she thought that, because I didn't burst into tears at the time. I don't know, maybe it was because I was alone too. And she basically just told me, like, these are your options, right? She said, you know, what I recommend is that we get you into surgery tonight, like that same day, but like, so she was like, you know, if I put in the justification, you know, like I can get you to get surgery for, you know, tonight. And that was like a 6 p.m. or whatever, right? And I was like, okay, let's do it. I was just like so focused on like, what do I need to get done? Like, tell me what it is, and like, we'll get it done, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then she was like, okay, she was like, that's good. And then I was like, oh, could I just call my husband?
Oh.
So I just needed her to tell him like what she told me, right? And so I put him on FaceTime, and then, you know, she just basically repeated what she told me.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously he was so shocked too, because he didn't expect that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So then she just told me to wait. She's going to put in all the paperwork to get the approvals for the surgery that evening. And I was just waiting there. And then, you know, like, obviously I texted my husband. I was like, just telling him, like, you know, oh, like, if you can tell our parents and like whoever like needs to know, like, you know, and things like that. And I just, you know, I was just waiting, really, like, you know, and they were doing other things like in the meantime, because I was still feeling really nauseous from like the vomit. So the vomit was because of the tumor. So the tumor was basically blocking my intestine. And so I couldn't go to the washroom, and everything that I had eaten, like to the tumor, was going up. So that's what I was vomiting. And she told me that had I waited any longer, I could have been in serious danger.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, you know, when I said like something in my gut said go, I listened to it. That's that part where I was like, wow, like I don't know, I can't even think of the what is, but like, you know, if I had waited like another day, I don't know, things like that. I'm just like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here today. I'm continuing. So I finished my chemo treatments, and I'm much better now. I'm in the process of it. I've, you know, taken a little bit of a break doing like the social media stuff. Like, you know, I was just not in that mindset either. Like, and I didn't think it would be fair to put on a fake smile and, you know, continue what I'm doing when that wouldn't be myself, right? And so like, you know, now I'm slowly getting back into it again. So I'm doing that on the side. I'm back to working 9 to 5, like doing what I do in talent. So like, I don't know, like it feels like I'm continuing what I'm doing, but it's like just to help me recover in a more normalcy way, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I think I'd love to go into, because the thing is I think for all of us, like as humans, health is something that, you know, we either ignore it so we can sort of live a life in delusion.
Living a life for the gram.
Because it's easier.
Yeah.
Or we can... Yeah.
That's it.
We, again...
Oh my gosh.
We have such amazing people in our lives.
We're so
I'm
blessed.
So glad that we get to share them with all of you.
Car, we are so blessed to know some amazing people that have taken the time out to come on our podcast and just lay down these gems and inspire us and our viewers. Her story and just like her spirit, she's such an amazing woman. We love this girl, and we really hope that you guys enjoyed what she was saying, took those gems she was throwing at all of us, because we sure did.
Please do follow Own Yo Glow on Instagram and be inspired as we have. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
That's right, everyone. And once again, give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, turn on the notification bell so you always know when we drop a video, and leave us a comment down below. We love hearing from you.
Thanks for watching again, everyone.
Till next time. Bye.